Imagine walking through a quiet forest on the outskirts of IBADAN, only to stumble upon hundreds of human skulls, rotting bodies, and rusty chains. This isn't a movie scene. This actually happened in broad daylight, right here in Nigeria. Welcome to the IBADAN forest horror, one of the darkest and most horrifying discoveries in the country's history. But the real question is, what was really happening inside that forest? And how deep did the evil go? It was March 22, 2014. A group of motorcycle riders went missing near Soka Forest, a quiet area on the outskirts of IBADAN, Oyo State. Locals had been whispering for months that people vanished there without a trace, but no one dared to go deep enough to find out why, until that day. A search party, led by angry locals, pushed through the thick bushes, calling out the names of their missing friends. At first, they saw abandoned buildings, nothing strange. Then came the stench, that unbearable rotten smell that clings to your nose and soul. When they entered the first building, they froze. Human skulls, fresh corpses, decaying limbs scattered like trash. And in one dark corner, a man, still alive, chained to the floor, begging for water. This was no ordinary crime scene. This was a slaughterhouse. As the villagers explored, what they found was beyond comprehension. Rooms filled with clothes, shoes, ID cards belonging to victims. Dozens of human skeletons laid in piles, some still wearing the remains of tattered clothes. Chains nailed into the walls, and handwritten notes with mysterious symbols. They even found a small shrine with skulls arranged in patterns, like trophies. It looked like a mix of ritual killing, human trafficking, and something far more sinister. When police arrived, the crowd had already grown into hundreds. Videos from that day went viral, showing angry mobs screaming, crying, and demanding answers. Everyone asked the same question: who owned that forest? Who was behind all this? What made Soka Forest so terrifying wasn't just what was found, but what was never explained. Some believed it was a hideout for ritualists supplying human parts to powerful politicians. Others claimed it was a kidnapper's den that had operated for years, right under everyone's nose. A few survivors told chilling stories that they were captured by men in cars pretending to offer them jobs, drugged, and then woke up chained in the forest. But here's the creepiest part. Locals said they used to hear cries at night, and any time they tried to investigate, they were warned to stay away. It makes you wonder, how many forests across Nigeria hide stories we haven't discovered yet? Because what happened after the discovery was just as disturbing, and it exposed something dark about society itself. When the police took over, several suspects were arrested, including security guards and caretakers. But within weeks, the story began to fade. Files disappeared. No major prosecutions were ever publicized. Even though dozens of human remains were recovered, no one really knows how many people were killed there or who the real masterminds were. The site became known as the IBADAN House of Horror. Journalists tried to dig deeper, but officials gave vague statements. Eventually, the buildings were demolished and grass grew over the ground, as if the forest was trying to bury its own sins. But the people of IBADAN, they still remember. The IBADAN forest horror wasn't just a discovery, it was a warning. A reminder that evil doesn't always hide in the dark. Sometimes it lives in plain sight, behind a quiet forest road, an abandoned house, or even in the people we trust the most. So the next time you pass through a lonely forest path and the wind goes still, remember Soka and ask yourself, what if the cries never stopped? If you want more true horror stories from Nigeria's forgotten past, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and drop a comment saying, "I'm watching till the end." because next video we are going even darker, to a story that'll make the IBADAN forest look like a fairy tale.